Hey, it's Conrad the Mortgage Guy, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, Conrad. Hope you're well.
Better than I deserve. Excited to be with you here on a Monday night, and we want to thank everybody for hanging out and joining us live. You should be a part of our live studio audience. Just join us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/WHW Monday. And we've got a fun show lined up today, Tony. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I kind of think we always try to have fun shows lined up because you know what? Wrestling's fun, isn't it?
It is. And sometimes it can be silly, which is why I thought, hey, maybe we'll get us going with some silly stuff. As a reminder, we're going to be watching a little wrestling tonight. We do it every week, but lately we haven't had to tell you to go to Peacock. We can actually say, just stay tuned right here. That's what you should do right now. If you haven't already, go check out WHWMonday.com. That'll take you right to our YouTube, and you can watch wrestling with us. No longer a second screen experience. We're going to be watching it together right here on YouTube. But first, Tony, in advance of that, I've got something kind of silly about the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Let's take a look.
I'm in Tampa, Florida, sitting in a restaurant. I'm with my parents, and we're sitting down to have lunch. I'm in town for one day. The waitress comes over and says, "Can I get you something to drink?" And I said, "I'll have a Diet Coke." My dad goes, "Way to go, buddy." And all of a sudden I hear, "Woo!" And I look over and he goes, "Bert Kreischer comes to Tampa and doesn't tell Ric Flair?" And I go, "Holy it's Ric Flair." And he goes, "Get up, we're having a drink." And my dad goes, "Who the is this?" I'm like, "It's Ric Flair." My dad does not follow professional wrestling. He thinks some boat captain just came over and to party with me, and he's like, "I got ladies over there. Come on, Bert." And I'm like, "It's Ric Flair, Dad. I gotta get wasted."
See you, folks.
My dad was taking pictures as if he's like, "This is where we last saw Bert," like documenting.
Boat captain. How great is that?
Wow. That's Bert Crinkler, isn't it?
Bert Kreischer. I love that we're going with Crinkler. Crinkler is his new name here on the show.
Right, Bert Crinkler.
Big fan of Crinkler's work, I can tell.
You know, I said it that way because when Cody was working for us, and he and Cody were doing that show together, right?
Oh, yeah. Go Big.
Yeah, Go Big. And we kept mispronouncing his name on TV. And so somebody commented, "They can't get your name right on wrestling." And he said, "What?" So we would on purpose mispronounce his name every time. So that's why I did it right there again.
Bert Crinkler.
Bert Crinkler.
Big fan of Bert. We're having fun, man. We've got a special guest. I don't want to keep everybody waiting, but stay tuned. We are going to be watching a little wrestling with a special guest. But before we do, I knew we threw it to you, and we wanted to kind of get your insight as you're celebrating a whole lot of years of calling professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Hey, what were Tony Schiavone's top 5 biggest wrestling moments?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down the top 5. Brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, let's start right at number 5, Tony, on your list. And I have to admit, hell of a match, but I didn't see this on your list. Sasha Banks versus Bayley from NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn in 2015. Tony, you weren't even watching wrestling in 2015. This match had to make quite an impression on you.
Well, we watched it here on What Happened When. And I remember watching it, first of all, thinking how great it was. And I remember thinking, and even I think it's been said before, that this match was the one that elevated women's wrestling. So why not be in one of the top 5? Being a match that absolutely would elevate women's wrestling to what it is today. It took women's wrestling from TNA, so to speak, into just great wrestling action. Look at the fans' reaction on that still shot. I think that's very, very easily the number 5 because it was a phenomenal match. Phenomenal match or matches you don't expect to get the fans into, and these two ladies did. That's number 5.
Can't say I would have predicted it, but I guess we could expect your number 4 on Tony Schiavone's top 5 biggest wrestling moments. Number 4 for Tony, is Crockett buying the TBS time slot in 1985. Now, as a reminder, this is a slot that they had enjoyed, and then in the middle of the night, Vince McMahon made a deal that didn't make Ole Anderson too terribly happy.
Mm-mm.
But just in time for WrestleMania, Vince decides to unload it, sells it back to Crockett. Mr. Crockett, David Crockett, has actually explained that he and his brother went down to the bank and got a loan to give Vince the money to fund the original WrestleMania. What a story. It comes in at number 4 on your list, Tony.
Well, in my personal list, it's one of the top because it certainly did change my career. But I think there's no question about the impact that it had on pro wrestling at the time, because once Jimmy bought it, and once the stars of the NWA started to get national exposure again, it made. I think, am I wrong to say it made Ric Flair a household name?
I think it made you a household name, Tony.
Well, it could have, but I think it made guys like Ric Flair and Barry Windham and Lex
Dusty
Luger,
Rhodes, all
Dusty
those guys.
Rhodes, all those household names. They were big stars anyway, but on a national basis, that's why I put it at number 4.
Now, we know that Vince did not actually buy Georgia Championship Wrestling. I think
Right.
people gloss over that.
Right.
Because we know that the way Vince is able to get the TBS time slot or in the first place is because he's got a deal to buy Georgia Championship Wrestling. So therefore, since Georgia has a contract to air their programming,
Yeah.
if he owns Georgia, now he can run whatever he wants, and he ran recorded matches from the WWF. And he's going to continue to own Georgia Championship Wrestling, at least on paper, for a couple more years. Are you of the impression that there was a settlement made? Because I think TBS had actually filed a lawsuit against Vince McMahon alleging breach of contract, because that was not the type of wrestling that Ted thought he was putting on. And he was not happy with the ratings, and he tried to undermine that deal as much as he can, giving different day parts to different wrestling promotions, Ole included amongst them. But do you think that was some sort of a TBS settlement? Like maybe Vince told Turner, hey, I'm going to sell it back to Crockett, and then they were cool with it? I mean, I guess I'm trying to drive at, do you think the Crockettts actually had to pay Vince that $1 million or whatever it was to get this time slot back, or could they have negotiated it differently?
Wow, that's a question I really can't answer. I just think that I think they had to pay the money. I don't know.
Well, Bill Watts has claimed that before this deal was actually made, that Ted Turner had agreed to finance a national expansion of Mid-South Wrestling, because Ted had started to air some of Bill's shows on TBS as well. Not this
Right.
original time slot, but another day, another time.
Right.
And I guess the idea was Bill had first approached Ted about that, and Ted had agreed to fund some of it, and he would get a split on the new expansion towns. And according to Bill, if Crockett and Vince hadn't made their deal, Watts could have landed on TBS. What would that have changed for Jim Crockett Promotions, for Bill Watts, for Ric Flair, for Tony Schiavone, if Watts winds up with this station and not JCP?
Well, I know what it would change for me, but what would have changed for Jim Crockett Promotions? Maybe Jimmy would have gone out of business a lot sooner than he did. You know, by the time by the time I guess WrestleMania 3 came around, you know, the territories were kind of dropping, weren't they? Right and left, and Crockett would have been just another territory. Then he decided to do battle with Vince and started to go national, and it didn't really work out financially for him. And I know you've had an interview. You had an interview with Jimmy before he passed, and you've talked to David extensively.
Oh, yeah.
When the Crockett's had to sell to Turner, I don't know if it was a case of trying to expand too quickly or just not a great business plan. I don't know who's to blame for that. But I do know that had Jimmy not bought TBS, we wouldn't have had, for Ric Flair and for everybody in the NWA, the great years that we had from, from what, 85, 86, 87, those great years.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. Like, hypothetically, we know what a tear Crockett was on when they get this opportunity in 85. The Rock and Rolls had just come over, they win their belts in the very first match. But what if, because again, this is early March 85, just weeks before WrestleMania, the very first one. What if Crockett had this opportunity to control the time slot in 84? If they would have done it in March of 84 and not March of 85,
Mm-hmm.
they would have been just a few months removed from Starrcade. They would have had kind of a year jump on Vince McMahon's national expansion. Not exactly, but you get where I'm going. Like,
Yeah.
Hogan wins the title in late January of 84, beating the Sheik in Madison Square Garden. Imagine if 2 months later, that's when JCP secures that time slot. Man, I don't know. What could have been, right?
Yeah, what could have been? Here's another thing. What could have been? What could have been had Vince never bought Georgia Championship Wrestling or the time slot? What would have happened there? Would Georgia Championship Wrestling, or it was World Championship Wrestling? That's what it was called before Jimmy even took charge. Would that promotion have been the national promotion? I don't know. A lot of what ifs, huh?
It's interesting because, on the one hand, it's easy to take a look and say, well, things worked out the way they were supposed to. But in an alternate universe, I think we all know that sometimes it just pays to be first.
Yeah.
And if the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions had an opportunity to really expand their national footprint in early 84 as opposed to early 85, they could have gotten the jump on Vince, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that
I
they
just,
had the vision for the merch and all that.
yeah. It just, Vince had, I don't know. Jimmy just couldn't get out of the way of being a mom and pop's organization. And Vince had this vision about going national, and there's a lot to be said for also being in the New York market.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the New York market, we know that whenever people talk about the WWF, they would refer to it as New York, at least inside the business. So let's
Right.
take a look at Tony's number 3 on his top 5 moments in wrestling history. Probably no surprise, you hold WrestleMania 3 in very high regard.
Oh yeah, this took wrestling into the stadiums, and it laid the groundwork for what we're seeing at WrestleManias now, and what we're seeing for All In now, making wrestling a stadium show. And you can't get any bigger than Hulk Hogan against Andre the Giant. Take a look at that crowd shot. That's pro wrestling,
Yeah.
in 1983, for crying out loud. That's unbelievable. And there was early on them coming in just at the old Silver Dome, which is no longer around. Yeah, it was a monumental event. And
We're taking a look at this footage here, or the image here, of Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat. And I think when people think about WrestleMania 3, by and large, they think of 2 matches. Of course, Hogan and Andre.
right,
But this one is the one that got everyone's attention in the business as far
Right.
as the guys in the ring. And Michael Hayes famously once said on WWE's Legends of the Roundtable show that after he watched that match with Savage and Steamboat, his immediate reaction was that the WWF was going to be tough to compete with now, because now they had great in-ring wrestling.
Hmm.
He felt like maybe that was the knock on WWE, is it was too cartoon, it was too over the top, it was too Hollywood. But when those guys went out and tore it down, talking about Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage, he felt differently. Do you remember thinking that? Like, whoa, they actually had a good match. That's not normally what they're about up there.
No, I never thought that. I never thought that good wrestling matches back then were the key to success in pro wrestling. I always thought it was promotion and being able to put on a good show. And there was no question in my mind that when I saw that crowd, and I think promoters around the nation saw the crowd that big, I think we all thought that, holy shit, we're not like that. We're way, way behind them. I mean, way, way, way behind them. And I think that was the feeling. And I don't think that a great match by Savage and Steamboat made me feel that way. It made me feel that, hey, it's a great wrestling match, good to see it. But what made me feel that we're way behind was just the size of the event and the venue.
Well, let's talk about number 2 on Tony Schiavone's top 5 moments in wrestling history list. Boy, this is a big one for you. Ric Flair leaving WCW for the WWF in 1991.
Yeah.
Of course, we know it all came to a big impasse with him and Jim Herd. And the next thing you know, the big gold belt is on Vince McMahon's desk. The unthinkable happened. Ric Flair left and he took the belt with him. How does that come in at number 2 for you?
Well, you can't. It goes back to what we were talking about TBS and how he was such a fixture on TBS, and the big gold belt was such a fixture on TBS, and all of a sudden, not only was Flair gone to the WWF, but the big gold belt was there as well. You can't. That is. I think it's a moment that. Well, I think it's a moment that ended Jim Herd's career, and it's. I don't know. It was just staggering to see that. It was. I remember seeing it going, "Oh shit, we're dead in the water now." They've taken our biggest. It would be like Hulk Hogan coming here and bringing the winged eagle with him at that venture, at that juncture.
It's wild to think about Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair kind of being fumbled by the WWF.
Oh, I thought so.
I mean, you saw what WCW did with it when Eric Bischoff is able to land Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
It's the first match they do, and it's the only time we really saw Ted Turner on camera.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be at the contract signing.
Right.
I mean, it felt like such a major moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think when it happened in the other direction, Vince would have been able to capitalize on it, but he didn't. Do you think that was? I mean, listen, the narrative out there is, oh, well, Flair wasn't a draw. The WWF fans didn't know.
That's not it.
You can fix all of that. I mean, my God, there's so many folks who were opponents for Hulk Hogan. Where was the draw for Earthquake before they established him in a feud with Hulk Hogan?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you establish a guy.
Right.
But we saw this with the invasion angle. Is this just Vince's ego with the benefit of hindsight? That's the reason it doesn't happen?
Yes, of course. Vince did not want to put Hogan on the same level as Ric Flair, or Ric Flair on the same level as Hogan, I should say. It goes back to the hatred that Vince had for WCW. And I knew when Vince bought WCW, I knew that day it's not going to last. WCW is not going to become a viable product for Vince McMahon. He's going to just swallow it up, and he did.
Well, we all swallowed up number 1 as well. I'm not surprised to see number 1 on Tony Schiavone's top 5 biggest moments in wrestling history. Hulk Hogan turning heel in 1996. You said it best back then. Hulk Hogan, you can go straight to hell.
Yeah, buddy. Did we ever think we would see that? I mean, let's think about what Hogan meant to wrestling from the time he won the world title and Hulkamania began through the 80s. And even when he came into WCW and wrestled Flair in 94, do we really think he would turn heel? No, we never thought he would. He was the last person that would turn heel. And here he walks out in his Hulkster garb and turns heel. And it was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. And to make it even more unbelievable, the absolute great heel promo that he cut in the ring
Yes.
was phenomenal. It's just great. It was just a great moment. It was, and it turned WCW's fortunes around. Hogan did anyway, coming aboard. Let's not look past that. Hogan did. WCW was floundering. Hogan comes aboard and it starts to amp up. But when he turns heel, the Monday Night Wars were on because of him. And of course, Hall and Nash too. No doubt.
Why do you think the Hogan turn worked as well as it did? I ask, and I know you don't keep up with what's going on these days, but earlier this year, John Cena turned heel.
Mm-hmm.
And for at least a dozen years, fans have been clamoring for him to turn heel. They wanted it. And they wanted it until they got it, and then they didn't like it. Now, there's a lot of blame to go around and a lot of finger pointing about creatively and people not seeing through their original idea and things like that. We'll set all that aside for a minute. No matter what we thought about Hulk Hogan, boy, he committed to the bit and it worked.
Yes,
and it worked unbelievably well.
Right.
Do you think it's because maybe most of all people didn't expect it? Because I think with John Cena, I almost wonder how much of that, indifference and just, I don't want to say that people were angry with the turn, but they weren't happy with it. And I feel like a lot of the frustration may have been born out of unrealistic expectations. People may have expected, oh, well, this is going to be like Hulk Hogan. Man, there's only one NWO Hogan turn. It's at such an unrealistic expectation that if you're going to compare the John Cena turn to that, or really almost anything to that, everything pales in comparison. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And listen, social media was not back then what it is today.
That's right.
So it's hard to compare the two, but were people clamoring for Hulk Hogan to turn heel back in the day? I guess we'll never know because there wasn't Twitter or Instagram or all that shit. So maybe not, but I just think it's a different era. It's hard to compare them both.
Megan Nelson's with us here live, and she says the children of the 80s who loved Hulk Hogan were hitting puberty and didn't want to watch childish shit.
Wow. That's not a bad line, is it?
Well said. Well, we want to know from you, what are your top 5 moments in wrestling history? I got to say, I like most of Tony's list, but I can't say in a million years I would have guessed that Sasha Banks and Bayley were number 5. But again, I get your point. It's pushed women's wrestling forward.
Yeah, you've got to put it up there.
And we're going to push something else forward thanks to our friends at Blue Chew. Guys, it's time to enter the room dick first. Blue Chew's not just a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody gave yours downstairs a pep talk at a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. I've been kicked out of 4 museums for carrying a loaded sculpture. You ever tried to tuck in a submarine? Man, this ain't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. I tried Blue Chew, and now my hog has a zip code and voting rights. Guys, we're not just talking about your performance. We're talking about your legacy or your third legacy. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options right now at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code WHW at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head on over to BlueChew.com for details and important safety information. And a big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. Tony, I'm fired up about today's episode because we're going to be watching a little bit of wrestling, and we do have a special guest who's going to be making his way to join us. But I'm really excited before we get to that to reveal that I've landed, well, the interview of all interviews. I can't believe this is a real sentence. But as we're recording this, tomorrow, I'm going to sit down with the one and only Yeti. I can't believe this is real. It's happening over at adfreeshows.com, where, yes, we will discuss that infamous night where he butt humped Hulk Hogan. But the real life Ron Reese and his career goes much deeper than that. We're going to talk about being trained by Big John Studd, becoming the super giant ninja, even joining Raven's flock. There's a whole lot to unpack, and we're doing it all over at adfreeshows.com. Sign up today for as little as $9 a month and be on the lookout for our conversation with the Yeti dropping soon. Also, I want to give a shout out to James Elkerai, who's been a top guy with us now since July 18th of 2020. Over 5 years with us as a top guy at adfreeshows.com. Greatly appreciate your support. Want to shout out Steve Frost, who also signed up in 2020, back in May of 2020. And shout out to a new subscriber, a new member, Matthew Hawkins, just signed up last week. Welcome aboard. We greatly appreciate all of your support and appreciate everybody hanging out in the live group chat tonight. Andre Canty's with us. Jason Taylor's with us. Gavin Napier, Greg Jacobson, Megan Nelson's here. Rajiv. I think Coach Rosie's here. Brian F's here. I know for sure that I've seen Pondwater Dave lurking around.
Wow.
Bryant's here. Man, we've got like a jam-packed house tonight, Tony. I like watching wrestling with our friends.
I do too, and I like the fact that we're able to watch some different wrestling. I guess that's the best way to say it than the norm. I mean, you know, we watch a lot of WWE and WCW from the days gone by, but this is something different, so it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, and we hope that you guys will watch along with us. But before we watch a little silly wrestling together,
yep,
I've got one more silly, well, maybe it's a dating video I want to show you, Tony.
Okay.
What I'm looking for in a lover is someone who can take care of my 3 daughters, a mom for them and a hot mama for me. I have not been in love, much to the chagrin of my first wife. I would describe myself as a success. If you're looking for a guy who makes $51K a year, if you're looking for a guy who's got a convertible, I'm your man. If you're looking for a guy who's adventurous and sexy, let's just say that next to my waterbed is a can of whipped cream and some cherries. My hidden talents include some very good impressions. Johnny Carson. What would my 3 wishes be? Well, I'd like to have a dinner one time. I'd like to have Sheena Easton, Tom Selleck, and Abraham Lincoln over for dinner. I know how to charm the socks off people. I often go to restaurants and I will, while people are eating, I'll start talking to them. I'm the kind of guy who will bring out the best in a night. My ideal romantic partner is you look like Sheena Easton, you wear high heels, and lots of crimson lipstick as well. That's just a thing I like.
Tony,
God bless him. He knows what he wants, doesn't he? And
he's very specific.
And he never lacks for confidence. And that should be a lesson to all you guys and girls out there. Go into a relationship or go towards a relationship with supreme confidence, knowing that you're the best at what you do.
I feel like that might be like if Andy Reid and Dave Silva had a baby. That could have been it.
That could have been it. That's good.
Yeah. Derek Zoo's with us here live, who says, if Paul Bear and IRS had a baby, he'd be brother right here. Conrad, please book that guy for StarCast. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be, but if it is, maybe we'll do like a kissing booth. I don't even know if that guy's allowed near schools.
I don't. To be honest with you, when he's talking about Sheena Easton, Tom Selleck, and Johnny Carson, that couldn't have been. That has to be old.
Yeah, buddy. Nobody's doing video data. This is a nostalgia. Did you think that was from Grindr today? People are doing videos like that today?
No, but
oh fuck.
When someone says that guy needs to be at StarCast, he may be dead by now.
You think everybody's dead?
Everybody's going to be dead.
Hey, listen, let's talk about somebody who is dead. Gordon Soley.
Yep.
You paid tribute to him this past week.
Yep.
With an incredible video getting fans ready for AEW's return to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me the old Starcade Control Center vibes.
Sure.
You know, we did this in the early days of WHW way back when WWE dusted off Starcade for a house show in Greensboro. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun, and we tried to make it look and feel like it did back in the day. And man, I think you and the rest of the AEW production team, you hit a home run. How fun was that? And what was the reception you got for that, Tony?
Well, the reception has been great. It was an idea of Tony Khan's. He sent us a very long text and came up with this idea. And so we immediately went to work on it. And, Phil Ada and all the guys in Nashville worked pretty hard on it. I spent some time here in the Bat Cave, brought up the old green screen again and went and looked at some Gordon Soley stills and saw that he was wearing a boutonniere and got some glasses that I thought were close to Gordon Soley glasses. Tony Khan said, why don't you even wear a turtleneck? And I said, I can do that. And then I also got the old school mic that I saw that Gordon Soley had and put that up, and we rolled on it. And it actually took me probably 20 minutes to record, but 4 hours to find all my equipment and get it all set up and to frame it and everything. So, again, a pat on the back to the boss for coming up with this idea, and another big pat on the back for Phil and all the guys in Nashville for making it work and making it look old school, right? They made it look like an old VHS. It was really cool.
It was fantastic. I hope you guys will check it out. We'll be sure to continue to promote it on our Twitter. I hope that you guys do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, want to give a shout out right fast to our other sponsor this week, Legal Buddy. Life happens fast. 1 minute you're driving home after work, and the next you see flashing lights in your rearview mirror. Your heart skips, your hands tighten on the wheel, and you start asking yourself, what do I do now? That's when you need someone on your side. And with the Legal Buddy app, you can connect with a local attorney in seconds, not hours, not days, but right when you need help. Whether it's a DWI, a car accident, a criminal charge, or even just a traffic ticket, the Legal Buddy app puts real legal support right in your pocket. Imagine having an attorney on call, ready to guide you through some of life's most stressful moments. This isn't a call center. This isn't a waiting game. It's direct access to a lawyer who understands your situation and your community, and one who can step in right away. Think about this. When trouble knocks, do you want to face it alone? Or would you rather have the confidence of knowing a professional is already on your side? That's the peace of mind that Legal Buddy gives you. And here's how easy it is. Download the Legal Buddy app at legalbuddyapp.com. Register today and use the referral code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Life is unpredictable. Accidents happen. Tickets happen. Mistakes happen. But when they do, you don't have to go through it alone. The Legal Buddy app, always on your side. Download the app today and enter the referral code LEGAL. So, Tony, without further ado, I'm fired up for us to watch this. I want to give a quick plug to the reason we're able to watch this footage. If you haven't already, I want you to go support these guys. It's Ultimate Classic Wrestling. You can find them online at classicwrestling.net. And they've got their streaming service available on all major platforms. I'm talking to you if you've got a Roku or a Fire TV or an Apple TV, or maybe you've got an Android or even just regular old iOS. Go right now to classicwrestling.net or look up Ultimate Classic Wrestling. And when you get there, I want to encourage you to use the code Conrad30. That'll get you 30% off when you sign up at classicwrestling.net. Be sure to use the promo code Conrad30. And Tony, our show today is going to air in 1991. It's the first show, January 5th, 1991 for ICW. We saw some of their stuff with Raven a few weeks ago, and they're going to be counting down the 10 greatest matches. And we've got the intro from Mario Savoldi, and he's explaining that these are matches that aired on ICW TV, not necessarily just matches that occurred in ICW. ICW would sometimes just air like a hodgepodge of stuff. So we've got some really fun and interesting stuff, and we're going to have some fun with this. So let's get our playback ready to go, and let's have some fun watching wrestling with our friends.
Hold on one second. Do you know how hot Sheena Easton was back in the day?
I do not know. How hot was she, Tony?
She was smoking hot. I mean, smoking hot back in the day. I looked her up, and she's 66 years old now. But back in the day, man, just smoking hot.
Are you having a moment right now?
I'm having a moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was, wow. Wonder what she's doing now. Oh, she's in Henderson, Nevada. Yikes.
You just missed her.
I just missed her. Man.
What do you think, Tony? Should we watch some wrestling?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you just want to whack off to Sheena Easton, we'll hang up and listen. But
No, she was just hot. It's
Okay.
just, okay. Roll.
Here we go. International Championship Wrestling, ICW. Oh my God, what a shot.
Mm.
We got to recreate this for Tony Khan, don't you think?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Mario Savoldi, Vice President of International Championship Wrestling, and we're very pleased to have you join us in our last week of our 5th anniversary special. We here at International Championship Wrestling have decided we are going to dedicate this last week to all the wrestling sports writers, talk show hosts, and especially, most of all the wrestlers who are in the Hall of Fame. We have asked 20 Hall of Famers, talk show hosts, and writers to select the top 10 matches of all time ever shown on International Championship Wrestling. The only conditions were that since International Championship Wrestling has so many associations with all the great wrestling organizations out there, the show did not have to originate, or the match did not have to originate on International Championship Wrestling, but must have been shown on an International Championship Wrestling TV program. Sit back, relax. We have one of the greatest shows you'll ever see on television. But first, let's find out how you can have International Championship Wrestling live in your hometown.
And
So-
everybody's going click, click, click.
That's what I was saying. Like, there's no way you could do that today, right? I mean,
No,
that
not
was
at
a
all.
bore. I mean, can you imagine if Tony opened the show and the whole segment was him just
Hello.
talking?
Thanks for watching Dynamite. Collision's coming up on Saturday. But now let's take a look at what happened last week and slowly turn.
I get that it's a different era. You know, this is the
Of
way a
course it
lot of
is.
shows opened back then, you know,
Yeah.
with the talking head and that sort of deal. All right, so we're jumping right into it.
Okay.
This is from 89, February 11th, 1989. We've got Tony Atlas versus Joseph Oldie. And I think Tony Atlas might be about to get a victory here and
Mhm.
win some gold. Man, he looks phenomenal, even in 89, doesn't he?
Yeah. I believe that's Billy Silverman, the referee, too. I'm almost certain it is.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. And they're at a hockey arena because you can see where the hockey glass was. Seems like it at a hockey arena.
What do you think of the color scheme? I know you're always big on the color of the canvas and the ropes, and you have a strong opinion about that sort of thing.
Yeah, don't like it, and don't like that both are wearing blue and a blue canvas.
You like dressing up the guys like they're dolls or whatever?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like or whatever.
Andre says, look at the traps on Atlas. He's one of the reasons I started working out. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's know in the comments. Did you decide to start getting in better shape because you watched professional wrestling? Were you at all ever inspired by professional wrestling to take your fitness to another level? I know Dave Silva and I were not.
I was inspired by a couple of people recently at the beginning of this year to start working out, and I did. And they were Johnny TV, but most notably my good buddy Nigel McGuinness. And so I've been working out since April. And not because I wanted to get these big biceps. Look at that. Not because I wanted to get those, but because I've been told that if you don't in later years, your mobility is going to be cut short and you're going to regret it. And I go out to work out now, and I go to LA Fitness, and I see a lot of guys who are older than me who can barely move. They can just barely get around, and they're trying at in their 80s to, to get in shape, but you had tried earlier and you may have been okay. So yes, wrestling has inspired me to work out, but not to try to get big traps like Tony Atlas.
Well, Derek Zoo says it may sound cliche, but Triple H in 2001 made me want to start working out. How about that?
How about that? Good job, Derek. Did he actually send Derek a letter and say, hey, we want you to work out, or if you want to be the game, you look like this? Or
He spit water in his face at the Grand Ole Opry. And Derek Zoo's been there every day since, just wishing a motherfucker would. Because if he comes back in there, he's got the lung capacity to blow a bigger bottle.
Did you see the difference in those camera shots?
Yes.
One looked like it was black and white, and one looked like it was in color.
It's independent, man.
Oh, God.
All right. So now Mario's setting us up for another match.
Mhm.
That was match number 10
Okay.
on the greatest matches.
Greatest match.
A battle royale is coming next with Vic Steamboat and Kendall Windham. So you're going to see a little Kendall Windham action here from 1988, Tony.
Well, there's Kendall, no doubt. That looks like the back of. Well, I'm not sure now that he. Yeah, that's Nikolai Volkov, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, there he went.
Hey, Kendall Windham, you knew him before 1988, didn't you?
Yeah.
And he wound up going up the river in 1990, right?
Right. Yeah. For
Forgery.
for forgery, counterfeiting, and his dad did too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is Vic Steamboat.
I love that you seem to know. Are you familiar with Vic Steamboat?
Not at all.
I mean, it's a fucking hell of a name, though, is it not?
It is a hell of a name, Vic Steamboat. It looks like
It's 65.
Okay, there it was. There's number 9.
By the way, if you're wanting to run that dick sucker about Vic Steamboat, I want you to know PWI ranked him 106 in the PWI 500 in 1993.
Oh, this is
Watch your goddamn mouth about Vic Steamboat.
that was there's another former ref, a WCW ref.
Oh my gosh, is that Mickey J?
No, it's not Mickey J. That's what was the guy's name? I saw him the other day. He came to one of our shows. Oh, geez.
Oh yeah. Okay, wait.
Okay.
I remember this guy.
Yeah, we'll have to look him up.
I'm gonna find him.
And there's Billy Silverman down on one knee there. So is this now? This is Vic Steamboat getting up, isn't it? Getting up to one knee.
Yes.
Okay. And there it was.
And now we're going to be working on number 8, which is Bob Backlund and Johnny Rods.
Oh, wow. Johnny Rods, who trained Taz, I believe.
That's right. And a lot of guys.
All right. This is a classic show.
All right. Scott Dickinson. That's
Scott
that fucker's
Dickinson,
name.
son of a bitch. Next time I see him, hey, Scott, I remember your name.
We were both having the biggest brain fart.
Oh,
man, how wild does this look right here? Bob Backlund.
Yes.
You got any good Bob Backlund stories?
Nah, not a one. Well, okay. Back in the Crockett era, and back in the days where we would do the local interviews in the garage, he came back one day and was doing some local promos. And I remember him just coming back and said, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls." Blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, wow, this is the former WWF champion, and he's boring as shit.
Yeah, he
But
is.
but he was a nice guy.
Super
Okay.
nice guy.
Super nice guy, just boring as hell. And he was a legitimate wrestler. I mean, right? And welcome to Tiger territory. I like the how do you like the how do you like this mat? I don't know if that's
Gavin Napier says, I like that mat with the weird circle. What'd you
Yeah.
think? You like the weird circle? You out on the weird circle?
it looked to me like a reverse Japanese flag at first.
Boy, I'm colorblind, so I don't know that I would have got there.
It's a white circle and red on
I
the
know what it is, you
All
mother-
right, Douglas, son of a bitch.
I'm just saying I wouldn't have
That's
guessed that what I was looking at was red and white.
Yeah.
That looks like brown to me.
Oh, who's this? Dr. D.
That
David
looks
Schultz?
like Dr. D, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. That's his hair and that's his singlet.
Well, it might not be him. Somebody may have just stolen his hair and clothes.
Well, they just hit Johnny Rods. And
Whoever they may be, we can't be too sure.
Yeah.
Buddy, listen, I appreciate that we're trying to fucking get
That-
all the stars we can in the top 10, but how are these matches the top 10 matches in ICW history?
Because the other 150 were the shits.
We're going to 1988 here, a few days after Christmas. Bob Orton Jr. and Ivan Putski.
Oh, wow.
I mean, these are big names.
They are big names. Look at Orton. God, look how young he is.
Man, is it just me or does he feel? By the way, he is 3 years removed from the main event of WrestleMania.
Holy shit, huh? Ivan Putski. Is Ivan still alive?
No.
Man, that's one guy I never met. Never. There was another one called the
Wait, I
Mighty.
lied. He is alive. He's 84 years old.
Okay, there was another wrestler called the Mighty Igor. Do you remember him?
I know you do.
Yeah, I sure do. Big in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. One of the big angles Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling was the Masked Superstar against the Mighty Igor, and Professor Boris Malenko takes the lit cigar and puts it in the eye of the Mighty Igor. Burns his eye, and he had to wear a patch.
Mighty Igor died at 70 years old
Mm.
in 2002.
Wow.
But Ivan Putski, I just assumed, and that's on me,
Yeah.
that he had passed away, but he is still with us, 84 years old.
God bless him.
And, just this past year in June, he went into the National Polish American Sports Hall of Fame
Really?
in Troy, Michigan.
Just this year? Holy shit.
Last year.
Or just last year? Took long enough.
Now, you worked a little while with Scott Putski, right, in WCW. He was there for a cup of coffee between 98.
Yeah. I don't remember that much about him, but I remember he was there. Yeah.
He hypothetically, was he friends with Missy Hyatt? Do I have that right?
Don't know. There's a promo for ICW coming January 12th. But now let's go back to Mario.
Versus Kevin Sullivan.
All right.
Magnificent Muraco going up against that evil Prince of Darkness, Kevin Sullivan.
And this is going to be a match of all matches, Dunbar, because Don Muraco is from Sunset Beach right here in the Honolulu area, and he's not taking anything away from anyone, and he's not going to take anything from anyone. He just gone out and brought his friend Fujiwara to ringside at the Blaisdell Arena, and I think Mr. Sullivan is now very perplexed and puzzled about what's going on.
Well, we've got 2 seconds in this match. Kevin Sullivan, of course, his second outside the ring. The Purple Haze, the Maniac Mark Lewin.
Mark Lewin.
Don Muraco, the Magnificent One. Oh, look at that. Kevin Sullivan matched heads with Maniac Mark Lewin, and Muraco comes back, fires with a series of chops.
Tony,
Kevin
were you a
Sullivan
big
into
Muraco guy? I know how you felt about Kevin Sullivan. We haven't spent much time talking about The Rock here on the show.
I didn't know much about, I never worked with him that I can recall, and didn't know much about him. I always thought he looked magnificent, as the old name goes. He had a very good look about him. But Mark Lewin, we were talking the other day when Tony was talking about putting together this championship AEW wrestling from Florida, and we were just kind of talking about who are some of the guys that were big in Florida, and Kevin Sullivan. I said, don't forget the Purple Haze and Mark Lewin. because he was big there as well. This camera is kind of drifted off here into the back of somebody's head now. Do we have somebody operating this goddamn camera? Tilt up. Tilt up.
They're showing matches that aren't even from their promotion, Tony.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
This is what we get when we watch indie wrestling, bud. This is what it looks like.
Okay. Sorry. The referee has a very nice afro. Almost looks like Gene Simmons back in the day.
Yeah, listen, I jumped over to Don Muraco's cage match, and it looks like he did work some Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling
Really?
in
When?
Georgia stuff in '82, so a year before you would have been there. Because I was like, he did some Mid-Atlantic and some Georgia, but that was '82.
Yeah. So 81 and 82 were the years that I was kind of removed from wrestling. I just gotten married. I had to start a job, baseball. I do remember going in Thanksgiving of 81 to the Greensboro Coliseum and seeing Flair and Steamboat in a 90-minute cage match. And I took Lois's brother, Dan, with me. And I remember thinking, wow, I've kind of been removed from wrestling. And really, I was kind of been removed from wrestling when I first started it, when I started back, because I was, I was into my baseball career. I was married and my life had changed. So, I wasn't just this punk from college that had nothing to do but go to wrestling matches with the money that was supposed to go into my books. Mark Lewin was a stud too, man. Now he's going to roll in the ring here. See how Lewin looked, man. He was a freaking stud. There's Mr. Fuji. Just Kevin.
Kevin was like dead weighting him, and Mr. Fuji gave him a headbutt to the nuts for his trouble.
Yeah, he sure did.
By the way, Megan Nelson is not really helping matters here. She says, on this special edition of Ladies Night at the Matches, Top Sluts, Top Slut Weekend, Ladies Night at the Match, Top Sluts in Wrestling episode. Like, what?
Okay.
Top Slut Weekend? What are we? We've gone too far, Tony.
Slow down, Megan. Slow down, sweetie. We love you.
Hypothetically, are tickets on sale now? And can I get a bracelet or what? Just need all the details. Just so we get the information. By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
I want to catch everybody up. We've mentioned the Savoldis a little bit. The Savoldi family is actually, that's not really their name, but they are the sons of former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion Angelo Savoldi. And we've got the promoter announcer Mario Savoldi, which is Mario Jr., who you're watching here.
Yeah.
You've also seen the wrestler Jumping Joe Savoldi. You saw him in the first match. And then there was the floor director Tommy.
Yeah.
And they took their wrestling name from the original Jumping Joe Savoldi, who was a star in the 30s and 40s, while secretly working as an intelligence operative for the OSS, which is the government's precursor to the CIA. Now, you've probably heard of the ICW before with regard to the PAFOs.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing. That one folded in 85. And not long after this started in the Northeast, they started running in New England and also shows in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. And they had some sort of a working agreement with Carlos Colon's WWC. And they even used the WWC Universal title as their main belt. But ICW had, I guess, what you would call like an unusually large television footprint, especially for an indie promotion. They had syndication across the country, even internationally. They even had cable coverage in '87 on Tempo TV, which is a now defunct network that did air a lot of wrestling. And it's probably best known, talking about the ICW, for how random the TV presentation is. And you're seeing some of that tonight. It's full of old matches and matches from other promotions, and there's often little context given to them. But hey, if you just wanted to show wrestling on TV, kind of like maybe the original idea with MTV was we're just going to show music videos, maybe this is that.
Could be.
Yeah.
That one Savoldi kid you're talking about also won that Battle Royal in the second one.
That's right.
Now we're looking at the sheep herders. against, is that the Savoldi kid once again?
That's the New York Rockers, Joe Savoldi and Al Perez, who eventually is going to be the Black Scorpion, and he's not going to want to stay in that gimmick, and he'll bet on himself and promptly leave the fucking business.
Well, this is like the best of Joe Savoldi because he's been on now 3 of the top 5 or whatever it is.
Well, you stay tuned.
Okay, I'll stay tuned. I remember ICW. I remember ICW because that's where I first saw the Mighty Igor. I saw a guy named Johnny Powers wrestle on ICW. There was a bunch of guys. There was a station in Virginia that had ICW on late at night on Saturday back in the 70s. And now, we got a couple of masked guys in, and there they went. But now we go back to Mario. How about that transition, buddy?
Hey, they were ahead of their time here in 91. Up next, I think we're going to be watching Sergeant Slaughter with Boris Zukov. And this is from November 11th, 1986. Nick Bockwinkel is going to be on color commentary.
Oh, wow. We got to listen to some of that.
You a big Bockwinkel guy?
He was a goof, but a funny goof.
A goof?
Oh, he was a big goof.
If you had to wear one of these outfits for Halloween, what would you go with?
I would go with Sergeant Slaughter's.
Man, how cool is it him walking to the ring with the G.I. Joe shit on his chest?
It's tremendous. Is that a fat Bruce? Is that a fat Bruce Pritchard?
I was wondering the exact same thing. Let's listen just in case.
Okay.
No.
Are you sure?
The ring announcer now making the announcements. Look at this. Look at this. He's got his own flag, Nick. He took in his own flag. He took out one of the young guys out of the audience. And the Sheik is taking the American flag. And boy, I tell you what, you better not fool with the Sarge.
I think the Sheik's got more guts than
Hypothetically.
That's got to be Bruce.
Yeah, Gavin Napier says that's 100% Bruce. I don't think that. I mean, again, just based on the timeline.
Yeah, the timeline kind of blows that out of the water. But
not him.
No, it's not him. There's a close up.
I do want to ask, who do you think the target audience for this was? Are these guys who, like the people who were like, man, I can't wait to watch that ICW show. Like, were they in this era? I'm asking because I don't know. Were they just drinking a lot of beer? Were they passing some left-handed cigarettes around?
No, they just I think this kind of, if I'm right, okay, this is when what, 86?
Yeah.
This would be kind of like watching a wrestling magazine. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the way it was for me when I watched ICW back in the 70s, right? These weren't the regular guys we saw. So these were guys that we would never normally see. So we were kind of interested in it. So I think this was the reason you watched it. Not like you thought, well, this is not Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, but man, hey, I haven't seen Boris Zukov before. I haven't. Of course, they had seen Sergeant Slaughter, but it's just. And I guess you did see Boris Zukov because you saw Jim Nelson. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like watching guys you just read about. And I was really big in those magazines, man. I kind of wish, you know what? It's like my baseball cards when I was young. I wish I'd have kept all the copies of the wrestling magazine because I subscribed to them.
Hey, I've got something I want to turn you on to.
Okay.
I was told not to talk about it on the podcast, but
oh God.
Well, I have a friend that I'm going to connect you with.
Okay.
And he has every wrestling magazine ever digitally.
Really?
Yes. So you can sort them by year and just go like you could, hey, I want Inside Wrestling. I'm freestyling 1991. You could flip through every fucking page on your iPad.
Wow.
all the way through. And it goes all the way back to like the old school. But I don't need to draw attention to it because obviously somebody owns those copyrights, or whatever. He's not trying to make money on it.
Mhm.
But, you know, if we promote it now, it looks like it's a for-profit enterprise and maybe somebody gives him a strike or something and tries to take it down. But for guys who are just like me and you, like, man, let me just look through some fun stuff on this plane ride. There you go.
That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff, man.
We're watching again, thanks to our friends. Want to give them another plug. Go to classicwrestling.net. Use our promo code Conrad30. You'll get 30% off. Just look for Ultimate Classic Wrestling at classicwrestling.net. The promo code's Conrad30. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to show you this stuff. And we've got a lot more fun stuff coming up in the coming weeks as we see Sergeant Slaughter there working with Adnan, and here comes Boris. Oh, wouldn't you know it?
Mm.
It's so elementary, but it still works. Look at the crowd. They're into it, man.
There it is. Sergeant Slaughter with the win. Here comes the ring announcer in.
We've got Tony Atlas and Vic Steamboat coming up next. Still to come, we're going to see the Missing Link. We'll see Kerry Von Erich. We'll see Dory Funk Jr. We'll see Austin Idol. We'll see Carlos Colon. And we'll see the Nature Boy himself, Ric Flair.
Oh, really?
Yep.
These fans are really into it.
So this is July 24th, 1990. Are they in Puerto Rico here?
Hmm.
I think they're in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
It's hard for me to tell.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at fans. I think they're in Puerto Rico.
Okay, I've never seen a match that I remember from Puerto Rico.
I think I only remember this building. I could be wrong, but I thought I remembered seeing Abdullah the Butcher bleed all over the place here. No, wait, never mind.
Hmm.
A lot of honkies in the background.
Hmm.
Probably not.
Well, hey, which reminds me, I know I've brought this up before, but it's worth talking about again and again and again. If you are a wrestling fan, I mean, a big wrestling fan, you got to go to Arena Mexico.
You have to. I agree totally.
You've got to just take the flight to Mexico City. And if you watch the news, you think, oh, it's not safe. Bullshit. It's a great place. And that's how news and social media has just tainted the world. But it's one of the great, it's really one of the great experiences of my life as a wrestling fan. And as, of course, the fans were just great. On the outside, they were great. They were nice to us. It's just really worth it. Somebody just got cold cocked. Who is that guy in the ring with that bad redneck haircut?
Let's track it.
And Duke is trying to help Atlas up. Steamboat, look at the poise. Look at the ability.
If he gets this down,
Steamboat up.
this is how his brother won the
Up and
title.
down. Down he's got One. No. It's Victor Steamboat is the ICW heavyweight champion of the
The
world.
end of the world has happened now. I can't believe it.
It's Victor Steamboat is the new
He's done.
ICW heavyweight
In
champion.
the middle of the ring. I can't believe it. Are you kidding me?
Tony Atlas would be beaten. He's big.
Coming up next, the
Oh my
number
God,
2
Tony. Like, listen, I know we've had a lot of fun watching some old WCW stuff and some old obscure stuff, but man, this is like the gift that keeps on giving right here.
Isn't it something? Here's their promo again about coming January 12th.
Yes, of course, this aired on July or January 5th. So they're promoting, hey, stay tuned next week. We'll have more original ICW. This is clearly a best of. And speaking of best ofs, what about some Hawaii from 84? Batten down the hatches, Pond Water Dave. That's Kerry Von Erich.
Wow. Oh, and
Missing Link.
the missing link.
I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. How about that?
Yeah, I haven't either. This is great. How about that? Did you notice on the last? Okay, we just saw Tony Atlas and Vic Steamboat,
Yep.
and then we saw a promo for the new ICW.
Yep.
And the guy did a suplex from the top on. It looked like it was outside. Okay.
Yep.
Then when he went in, they went 1, 2, 3, and it was the same arena that we saw Tony Atlas wrestle Vic Steamboat in. So they were wrestling outside in front of something, in front of a store or something. Just like that time we saw Alabama Doink wrestle in front of Golden Corral or whatever it was.
Wasn't that great?
That was one of the great moments in WCW. Boy, look at Kerry Von
I
Erich.
mean WHW.
What's that?
You said WCW, and I need Alabama Doink footage to appear in WCW. Like,
Yes,
if there was an old episode of WCW Pro,
yeah,
where Alabama Doink was wrestling in front of a Golden Corral.
I just I said WCW one time on an AEW show, and Tony said something in my ear. He wasn't mad, but he kind of laughed about it, and I wanted to take a pencil and shove it in my eye about that time. Boy, a very young Kerry Von Erich too, huh?
Very young. I had to look it up. So young that he's still got both of his feet.
Yeah.
You're seeing Kerry with both of his feet here. This is October of 1984. And Kerry would lose one of those feet in June of 86. Coming up next, something kind of fun too. I mean, this has been interesting because we've got, think about the names we've seen so far. Tony Atlas, Kendall Windham, Bob Backlund, Bob Orton Jr., Ivan Putski, Don Muraco, Kevin Sullivan, the Sheepherders, Al Perez, Boris Zukov, Sergeant Slaughter.
Wow.
Kerry Von Erich, the Missing Link.
Wow. Still
to come, we've got Ric Flair versus Austin Idol from Alabama. Southeastern Championship Wrestling in 1982.
Oh, wow.
And then Dory Funk Jr. and Carlos Colon from February of 85, where Dory's going to win the Universal title. Kind of a cool deal. It's the only time that the Universal title ever changed hands outside of Puerto Rico.
Think Marty was there with him?
No doubt.
Just wanted to throw it out at you.
Counting the payment in cash.
Hey, Top Guy Weekend's coming up next month.
Man, I'm fired up about it. We're just a couple of weeks away. Looking forward to all of you guys hanging out with us in St. Louis. AEW Wrestle Dream is going to be there. I'm going to try to get in town in time to see a little wrestling on Wednesday night, but we'll have Thursday night and Friday night to ourselves. There's a little bit of a comedy show going on, and we're going to have a who's who from ad-free shows and some of your favorites, and we're working on some big surprises up our sleeve. But man, it feels like AEW always delivers on pay-per-view, and Wrestle Dream always has a certain international flair with their partnership with New Japan. So considering how that partnership has now expanded to CMLL, you're going to see, I mean, there might be some matches, no disrespect to the great cards we've watched today, but if you're looking for variety, you're probably going to have a lot of that for Wrestle Dream, don't you think?
I would think so. And we're looking forward to it. We have one match, as we know, an I Quit match that's been booked for it between Darby and John Moxley. By the way, the comedy show on Friday, I'm going to be a part of. So is Jeff Jarrett. So is Karen Jarrett. And here we go.
Man, look at this. Now, this is Southeastern. I would guess that they're probably in Boutwell Auditorium as we see Ric Flair applying the figure 4 to Austin Idol. Let's take a listen. Well, we're not really getting any commentary, but
yeah,
this is 1982, so Flair has won the world title in 81, but it's the 83 Starrcade victory that really put him on the map. This is very much the Fuller organization.
Mhm.
Did you ever see or keep up with any Southeastern? What was the reputation as a young fan, Tony,
Uh,
of
I think
Southeastern?
I think it was like another territory. Wasn't there Continental Championship Wrestling too in
Yes.
Alabama? Okay, and
Yeah.
I think Gordon did a commentary for that too, I believe.
That's the same outfit. They just changed
Okay,
names.
they just changed names. Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, I think we all thought it was, we knew that the Crockett's had the Carolinas and Florida and Georgia had their own territories, and
This
we
is the
always,
Fuller territory here we're
yeah,
watching, I believe.
we always thought that Alabama had its own territory, which was this Continental Wrestling, and I think Continental Wrestling also ran the Panhandle of Florida, didn't it?
They
As
did.
well? Yeah,
And they'd even run some in Tennessee, and
right.
it wasn't just Alabama, but yes, you are correct. They'd run Dothan, they'd run Mobile, they'd run Montgomery, they'd run Birmingham, they'd run
Mhm.
Huntsville. And at different times, you would see, like, the northern half of the state, you'd see a lot of the folks from Memphis come down.
Right.
Anytime I'm in Madison County and an older person is in the conversation and they find out that I'm anywhere affiliated with wrestling, they'll immediately hit me with some, oh, the old Madison County Coliseum, Tojo Yamamoto. I mean, they say it, yeah, them wooden shoes on. Remember Tojo Yamamoto? I mean, they say it the exact same way. And I'm like, you mean Harold? Yeah.
Referee bump. The referee just flopped right on the floor. This a very odd red and star mat and no ring skirts, which is odd.
Yeah, that mat is continental to me.
Okay.
That canvas with just the stars in a circle.
Mhm.
Isn't it crazy to think how, so much of the actual construction and setup and all of that, by and large, is still the same. But rings are just so much more advanced now.
Yeah. Referee
Oh, here
finally
comes
gets
the
up.
ref. Austin Idol gets a win. Look at the crowd going bananas for Austin Idol.
They're going to give Austin the world title, but they're not going to take it from him. Second
I
ref
think
comes
they've
in.
just seen Austin Idol win the 10 pounds of gold, and here comes the second referee.
He threw Rick over the top.
It's a DQ. Give me that belt back, you son of a bitch. And that belt, all these years later, is on the wall of the office of Triple H.
That original 10 pounds or whatever it was called. The globe belt.
Yep. The 10 pounds of gold. Of course,
It
mine
is.
was known as the big gold.
So it's, oh, wow.
Yeah, Triple H has that one. All right, so we got one left. This is a big one. Dory Funk Jr. versus Carlos Colon. This went down in February of 85. And as I said, we're about to see the only universal title change happen outside of Puerto Rico. This went down in February of 1985. So just a month prior to the very first WrestleMania. I don't think I don't want to be taken out of context here. So allow me a little grace here. Do you think Dory Funk was the definition of his time as a wrestler? Because wrestling, as we know it here, this is early 85. It's about to get very Hollywood. It's about to get very produced, very cartoon. He was down and dirty, old school, the last of a dying breed. I feel like, because I talked to guys like Bruce Pritchard, and Dory Funk's his all-time favorite wrestler.
Really?
But it just feels like, as a fan who grew up in the Hulk Hogan era, and that's really what we're talking about here is 85, that maybe Dory is one of the more of his time wrestlers of all time. Because I don't think, respectfully, not discounting his skills or his accomplishments at all, but in the Vince McMahon era of sports entertainment, I don't think Dory or a character like Dory would have worked. But if he talked to people who were fans when he was really on top, man, they hold him in the highest of regards.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. I mean, they hold Terry in the highest regard too, and Terry was much different wrestler than Dory was.
Yeah, he was doing the hardcore stuff and the moonsaults, and it just feels like Terry was taking more chances. He was more adventurous. He was
Right.
he was the crazy promo, and he was the crazy one. And it feels like Dory was oftentimes the straight man.
Right.
But when I think about even his presentation, like he was in the WWF, but like in a different time, do you think Dory could have been a bigger star in Jim Crockett Promotions? Could he have worked there?
Well, he did.
I mean, when they expanded to national TV,
Oh.
like when you're in the squash match TV,
Yeah.
television studio, and then you go over to the podium and you're cutting a promo and sort of singing for your supper. Like, that's the era where you guys are going to try silly shit like, Lasertron and who are those guys from the future that you always get excited about? They come in and got a promo like they're from the future.
The new breed.
Yeah. So I'm just saying it's hard for me to imagine you trot that out there and then, all right, now we got Dory Funk. It's such a about face is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Dory, when he wrestled for the Crockett's, wrestled as the Outlaw. I believe it's called the Outlaw. He was a masked man. Gary Hart was his manager. And what I never will forget about it was he would just stand there. He wouldn't say a word. He had like a half mask on. And Gary Hart would be doing the talking. I would be holding the microphone. And Dory would be over here with a bullwhip. And he could never get that bullwhip to crack. He would go thud, thud. So it looked like in that era, they tried to, spice up Dory Funk a little bit. The Crockett's attempted to, but it didn't work out. Well, I got to say, Mario, this was a tremendous program, top to bottom.
Hey, he kept it moving. It never got boring.
Never got boring. I thought
let's listen to Mario close us out here.
Reminiscing some of the old matches, we had a lot of fun. But now the old is old and the new must begin. Next week, the new International Championship Wrestling. Don't miss it.
And don't miss us next week right here on What Happened When. We get together each and every Monday night and watch wrestling with our friends. We hope you'll make plans to join us. That's easy to do. Just go to patreon.com/WHW Monday right now. We also want to hear from you on social media. If you haven't already, go check us out. Our show handles are easy to do. It's at WHW Monday on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. We want you to go like and subscribe us on YouTube. You don't need a second screen anymore. Watch wrestling with us here on YouTube at WHWMonday.com. And if you'd like to check and see if you're blocked by Tony Schiavone, he's at Tony Schiavone 24. Now, you may or may not be blocked, and I can't really help you there, but I can help you grow your business. If you're looking to advertise to men 25 to 54 years old, no better place to advertise than right here with us on What Happened When. You hear some of the same commercials week in, week out for years. Why is that? Well, because it really works. And with our super targeted audience, there's very little waste. Go right now to advertisewithwhw.com and find out how affordable it can be to advertise here on What Happened When. In the coming weeks, Tony, we've located something that's really crazy. I can't wait for us to watch.
What's that?
It's Bob Lucy's Monsters of the Mat. It went down on the 4th of July, 1987. It's an incredibly obscure last grasp at straws here in Chicago for a promoter named Bob, who'd promoted at the peak of the AWA, and he was co-promoting with Dick the Bruiser's WWA. And at this point, it's just insanity, and it's a bizarre look at independent wrestling in 1987. I can't wait for us to look at this and poke fun in it and have fun in the coming weeks. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell. But right now, Tony, it looks like it's about that time.
And I've received a knock at the door, and it's Sheena Easton at age 66. She's going to be part of What Happened When next week. How about that?
Is it Top Slot Weekend? I don't know what's going on.
Let's check with Megan. Megan? Is it? Is it? I don't.
We'll find out. Stay tuned.
Of it.
We are desperately out of time. Roll. I don't know what we're even doing. What's up and what's down?
What's up, girl? You looking good for 66. I got an older lady in the other room. Come on in here.
We'll see you next week right here on
Good
What
night.
Happened When.